Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. So, for those of you who are new to my show, thank you for watching my show. I hope you enjoy it. For those of you that this is your second show, I hope the first show you saw, this show is exciting as that one. And for those of you who've been here before, you know who you are. You know how it goes. So, this I'm going to do some of the same things I've done before. The only problem is, and I know even in this day and age, I am not. Sometimes I have technological issues. Let's put it that way. So, I was not able to upload the videos, not the videos, the pictures that I had from um, the trash in the hood. So I thought what I'd do this week, because I have had some questions in the past and some comments and suggestions, I wanted to show the map of basically the area radius, it's kind of a haphazard gerrymandered way of the area that I walk. So people have asked me, do you walk in other people's neighborhoods? I do from time to time with friends. I don't normally take my trash picking gear with me. Sometimes it's because we're just about to go out somewhere or we're about to do something, and so I don't really have the gear with me. I always have the gear with me when I walk in my neighborhood. So I have not been invited to other people's neighborhoods lately. But again, I'm doing the trash for my neighborhood. So if you're interested in doing trash for your neighborhood, then you should go ahead and get to it. You don't need me to be there. Just grab a picker and a bag, and you'll be able to do what you want. So, but I thought I'd show some of the streets, most of the streets that I've either walked on before, and no, I'm not a street walker. But I do walk streets. I'm just not a street walker. And some of the areas, some of the smaller side streets and stuff like that that I do, not to pick anybody out, not to pick out houses or anything, just some of the streets that you'll see the area that I cover. I've had a couple of questions about it, so I thought I'd do it now, especially since I lost the pictures that I was going to show anyway. So let's just go straight to, let's go, not necessarily straight, but let's go to Trash in the Hood, the map. Dark Frog Social Media presents Trash in the Hood, Week 51. Hey everybody. So here's a map of some of the walking that I do. Let's start at the top left, and the very top corner, you don't see much of it, but it's El Salito Parkway and Cypress Creek. So I have gone that far before. It's a little difficult in this heat. Plus, when I go that far, I almost fill up. Well, actually, I have filled up the bag before to the point where I'm just carrying stuff in my hand, large chunks of stuff. But I do it. On the other sides, there's like Sharon and Sands, and then you see Dayflower Trace, and other things like that. You will see El Salito Parkway is the main street that I do. I also go off a hatch. The red teardrop is actually where I live, and then you'll see like Hatch, like I said, Red Bay, Honeyweed, Texas Oak Way, Mulberry Way, Mimosa Pass. Now, you do see the church there, but down that street, which is Little Elm Trail, is actually where the Mojo is, so that's why it's covered there. I do hit the side ones like Tierra Blanco and Glenwood and Oakwood and Nightingale and stuff like that. So these are just most of the streets. If you see your street on there, give me a call out. That would be interesting. So there you have it. Most of the streets that I do walk when I pick up trash in my hood. So I do want to mention a couple things. So that was week 51. So week 52, which will make it almost a complete year that I started doing the walking and picking up trash, starts next week. And hopefully I can get more walking in than I did this previous week. which was only 2 days, as it is my year anniversary of doing this, and I appreciate everyone who's given me positive feedback on that. It has been a journey. I'm still not as walking as far as I want. I'm still not as doing as much as I want. However, I am getting out there and doing it, so that's what's important. So if you want to start your own crusade to exercise, I recommend just getting out there and walking. Doesn't even have to be that far, and you definitely don't have to pick up any trash for it. I'm not trying to get a following of people doing that for me, or doing it with me. I do it because I like to do it, and it helps clean up my neighborhood, so I'm going to keep doing it. Also want a brief mention, like I said, those of you who are new to the show that's just watched my show for the first time last week, um, an incident occurred on a website. I don't think the admins actually watch my show, so I don't know, but I'm not going to name it just in case it does and I get blocked. But I was blocked when I posted to a website that is used for people in and around my neighborhood, I should say. Perhaps live around me. And it had nothing to do with the admins, so I'm not gonna apologize because y'all didn't do anything. But for those of you who thought it was the physical human admins that blocked my show from being on the website, it was not. It turns out it had to do entirely with the name of the alcoholic beer that I did, ginger ale that I did for my review. So the name of the the name of the ginger ale was Damn, It Feels Good to Be a Ginger. So because I actually put that word in the title of the description for the show, the automatic filter program that's built into this website blocked my show. So had nothing to do with people getting upset. It had nothing to do with any kind of political affiliation not liking my show. It had to do entirely with the application. So those of you who watched the show or first heard of my show because of said ban, I welcome you again to the show. I'm glad you found it. So hopefully you'll stay. So now the next section of the show is normally either Healthy After 50 or Zen Moment. So I think what we're going to do this time is we're going to do Healthy After 50 and talk again. We talked about heat last time, but we're going to talk about what you can do for exercise in your house that will avoid the possible heat exhaustion, or possible heat stroke, or possible just being hot as out there, especially today. So here is Healthy After 50. Dark Frog Social Media presents Healthy After 50. Hey everybody, welcome to Healthy After 50. So I want to make sure that everybody once again is aware of how friggin' hot it is outside. And I know you know, but I'm letting people know that they must be aware when they go outside during times like this. Right now, I will tell you for a fact, it is here in the Cedar Park area. That can't be right. No, I guess it is right. It is 101 with the real feel of 108. So what happened earlier was it was probably only 97, but the real feel was 114. And why is that? Is because the real feel takes into account humidity. So of course in the morning it's a little bit more humid because it's coming off of a cooler night, cooler being in the 80s. And so actually I think today was probably 78, so there was moisture in the air more so. So as the day heated up, the real feel went up, and then as it started drying out the area, real feel started going down. So you must always be careful, especially when you're older than 50. Be aware of heat exhaustion and all that. So one of the things that was brought to my attention, straighten that shirt up, was what can I do when the times are a changing. I just had to throw that in there for those of you who know. When the times are that it's so dang hot, what can I do? I don't want to go out biking. And this is for everybody, not just for people over 50. You have to be constantly aware of your surroundings when it comes to the heat. Are you, so you don't want to go out in the middle of the day. So you can't, some people can't go out in the middle of the day. Sometimes the medication that they take affects them to the point where they get extremely dry in the first place, dry mouth, dehydrated a lot quicker than they would normally in the past. And so going out into something like this, with the real feel being as high as it is and it being as hot as it is, what can you do to try to still exercise? Especially if you like going outside. Now, if you like going outside, there's not much I can do for you right now. All I recommend is you get up earlier so that you can get out while it's cooler and while there's still some you don't have direct sunlight maybe, and then not get out till after 7 o'clock. I myself don't go out to water the garden until 7:30, 8 o'clock sometimes, because why? You do it earlier and all it's doing is pressure cooking your garden. And so as it is, my garden's having a hell of a time. For those of you who are gardeners, let me know if there's anything you can do that helps limit the amount of heat that you're getting onto your plants. Now, I know some of the plants require sunlight. Some of them even say we require 6-7 hours of direct sunlight. The problem is I don't think they realize what that means when you were going through something like this, especially here in South Texas. So be mindful of that. So what you can do, back to my point, what you can do is certainly you can go to the Y, you can go to a gym. I would hit the pool if I were you at the Y or the gym. Do some exercises in the water. I have friends who have hip issues. Some of the things you can do is squat, get in the water where it's about shoulder deep, where you're about shoulder deep in the water, and you can do squats there. You can do lunges in the water. Those of you who have problems with your knees like I do, doing lunges really suck. So doing lunges in the water is awesome work. You don't have to lunge across the pool. You can just step forward and lunge, step back, and do the other leg stepping out and stepping back. You don't have to interrupt anybody. You don't have to have an entire lane. You can just stand there and do it. And even though you are in the water, you are still getting the exercise in. If you don't have an opportunity to go to a pool at the Y or at a gym and you have your own pool, kudos, good for you. I wouldn't do it. It's too expensive, problem to deal with, but that's a whole different issue. But if you have a pool, do the same thing. If you know how to swim, swim laps. If you know how to really swim, swim forward on your way to the edge of the pool on the other side, and then swim the backstroke on the way back. And if you change that up enough times, you'll really find yourself hurting if you haven't done it in a while. So always be mindful that, of course, if your pool is outside, the chlorinated water is not keeping you hydrated. Let me say that again. The chlorinated water is not keeping you hydrated. Chlorinated water does not do that. It may keep you wet. It does not keep you hydrated. If you are underwater, the water acts like a magnifying lens for the sun. So continue to stay hydrated. Those of you that are enjoying your pool and maybe having a margarita or two, mix it up with water every now and then. Have a glass of cold water, because chlorinated water does not keep you hydrated. Okay, so for those of you who don't have a pool in any way, shape, or form, you can definitely do exercises in the inside. I myself use a streaming device called Roku, and Roku has some free courses or classes or videos, whatever you want to call them, on there that have yoga. You can do yoga always inside. You can do Tai Chi inside. You can do any of the exercises you were doing outside. You can do inside. It doesn't have to be in a garage, and it doesn't have to be in the exercise room. You can do it in front of your TV. In fact, I recommend that because a lot of people get bored while trying to exercise. So if you tie it in with your television, that will keep you motivated as well. So I'd like to hear from some of my viewers as to what they do on a hot day like this to keep themselves motivated to continue to do their exercise. So I hope to hear from you next week, and I'll post about it. So thanks a lot, everyone. See, this is why I don't wear my glasses. That right there. That's the ring light that's supposed to give better light to make me look better, but somehow it always winds up in my glasses. So, anyway, real quick, I wanted to show you some work that I did around the house for those of you who may be interested in some craziness. In fact, I got asked by Brother Rob, why would you do that? What was the point of doing that? And I said it's because one, I can. Two, I only have one vote in the house, and that's all there is. And also because why not? I really thought it was cool. So take a look at this. It's really just replacing the shower head, but replacing it with something pretty interesting. So check it out. Hey everybody, spooky, spooky. So I wanted everybody to check out my new shower head. So I turn on the water, as cold as we can get it in Texas right now. And when I pop it, look at that. And then as the water gets warmer, maybe it needs to get warmer than that. Oh, it's still ice cold. There it comes. Or is that just my hand getting numb from the cold? Come on. There we go. It's getting warmer, but I haven't. There we go. There's the light change. See if I can get it any hotter. Yep. There it is. Awesome. Just awesome. And there you have it, everyone. So for those of you who have never done a DIY project yourself, shower heads are really the first thing you should do before you try anything else. It is one of the easiest things to do. It has really only one part, and you just make sure your water's not on. You don't have to go out outside to your yard to turn the water off there. You just make sure you don't have your water on your bathtub, and then literally you unscrew it. Now, sometimes some of the shower heads you get will come with thread tape, pipe thread tape, and it's a white thin not really tape because it's not adhesive, but we call it tape because it comes out like tape on a little dispenser, and it's really meant to just make sure that you lock in the threads on your shower head so that there's no leaking. So anytime you do plumbing, you should use pipe thread unless it signifies otherwise. So really the shower head just unscrews. You remove the old tape that's there, which you'll know what I'm talking about when you feel it, and you put it back. Sometimes I try to go pretty heavy, even though that may not be recommended. I don't go super heavy, so you want to still be able to thread the shower head back on. So the shower head I showed you was probably about that big, all LED, no other electricity to it. It's driven by little, I'm not sure inside, but it's probably a turbine of some sort that lights up the LED lights. So there's no batteries you have to replace. There's no electricity or electrical plug you have to plug in. None of that nonsense, so you don't have to worry about shocks or anything like that. It is simply driven by the water itself. And then the temperature, as it's cold, it's going to be white and blue LED lights. As it starts getting warmer, it starts going to a purplish to a like a bluish white light on the LEDs, and then as you saw in the video, they start going to a I like to call it watermelon because it was like pinkish white and whitish pink, which I know it sounds the same, but it's not. Lights that you can see, you saw in the video for a few seconds, and then it goes to red and pink lights when it gets hot. So there is a temperature range that you can find. When I bought this, which I bought on Amazon during Prime Days, which I don't work for Amazon and they don't sponsor this show before anybody calls me out, and it gives you the temperature range, so you will know. Now, do I need it so that I know how hot or how cold the water is before I step into my shower? No. Do I need it for anything other than just I ran across it when I was looking on Prime Days and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it? Yes. Does it work even in the daylight? Well, my bathroom only has one little small window, so if I don't turn the light on, I don't get a lot of light. So yes, it still works, and yes, they are visible. The video showed it with absolutely turned off. So if for whatever reason there's a brownout or a true electrical outage, the water will still work, and I'll be able to then take a shower in somewhat light. So there you have it. Okay, so let's now go to our excuse me, I'm so excited I got verklempt. Let's go to our Zen moment and enjoy a little respite from the heat of the day, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up with a special spirit time. So here we go. Let us think about our frozen thoughts. Times where we were amongst the snow, feeling of snowflakes upon our face, the feel of the crunchiness under our boots, the cool thoughts we had then. Think about them now and feel those frozen thoughts cool and chill your mind. It is so cold. Okay, so that was our Zen moment. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the little poetry there from Jay Anderson, our in-house poet. So now we're going to go into a special spirit times. Now, for those of you who are still new to the show, spirit time is a time when we do a beer, a wine, or a spirit review of something that I come across either at the boutique, which once again the boutique does not sponsor this show. I am still doing this for free for those of you admins who may have reached it this far. Or Total Wine or Specs or wherever you find your spirits to be purchasable. I bring them home or have them from through all the different tasting parties, and I do a review of them. So this week, my neighbors, the Pavlovskis, they came across a reel, which for those of you who may not know is a little snippet of usually a TikTok video that gets posted on the Facebook, and then you can watch it on Facebook without having to go anywhere else. So they came across a video of a young man who mixes cocktails and does different things. I don't know his name, otherwise I would say it here, nor do I work for him, nor does he sponsor my show. However, they came across it, and the mythos or the legend or the hearsay or the rumor is that the combination of these two things, alcohols, will make a cocktail that tastes like Dr. Pepper. Now, you may have seen a lot of these on TikTok, or you may have seen a lot of these on Facebook Reels. It's basically the same thing. You may have seen a lot of people do this. I have seen a couple myself, but I've never tried it. So James was nice enough to put together a one for us. Now, the ingredients to this cocktail that tastes like Dr. Pepper is simply Corona. That's right, Corona beer and Amaretto di Serrano. So if you have, I don't know if it works with other types of amaretto, but they specifically list Amaretto di Serrano. So let's go to the picture, and I'll do a little voiceover on the Dr. Pepper. Okay, so we didn't do anything really, enticing for the viewers of my show. However, like I said previously, this is Corona beer mixed in with Amaretto di Serrano. So we don't know exactly what the proportions were, or James may not have told me. It looks like it was kind of a 2-to-1 type proportion. So we tried it out, and I have to be honest, if you did, one of the people trying it out was correct in their assumption that if you did very small sips, it did sort of taste like Dr. Pepper. I wouldn't say 100%, but it does taste a little bit like Dr. Pepper. However, if you were to take larger sips, that's where the weirdness starts coming in. So then it starts tasting a little weird and starts tasting a little bit like cherry Dr. Pepper. Now, if you start really just like getting close to taking what would be a normal standard swig of water or beer or anything else, that's where the weirdness comes in. The amaretto becomes too strong and kind of kills the taste of the beer altogether, and then it just tastes like wonky amaretto with like poured onto wax lips or something like that, if you know what I'm talking about. So there you have the Dr. Pepper knockoff review. If I were to give it on a scale of 1 to 10 thumbs, I would give this a 3. So, some people ask what I have in my drinks when you see me drinking on the show. Rest assured, it's usually water. Unless it's from Forest Spirit Times, then it's water. And I just stay hydrated all the time. I do get a little dehydrated from the medication I take, so water is the key. And so I will be drinking water constantly, usually throughout the show and definitely throughout the day. Okay, so that's it for our show. We got it under 30 minutes, so that's where I've been trying to keep it for the past couple of years or so. If you made it this far, congratulations and thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will have more next week. If you have a mom and pop business either in the Cedar Park area or anywhere in the country and you're watching this show and you'd like to be on the show, then be sure and let me know. And I can certainly arrange a Zoom time or a in person. So if you have especially if you're local and I can reach you by my vehicle, then let's do that. I'm looking more for mom and pop than your standard franchises, simply because I like to try to shop and buy local and promote local businesses, because they need help, if not more help, in my opinion, than the franchisees that get kudos from all the other commercials that get put out there. So they may not be able to do that. So word of mouth is usually the way to go. So like places like the Boutique and Fifth Element and Mojo, even though Mojo is kind of getting bigger now, but still my local Mojo. So places like that, which again do not support me. They are not sponsors of the show. This is still a free show. So that will be, if you want to be a co-host on the show for an episode or two, then be sure to reach out to me however you can, and we can set up the same thing. Until then, stay cool if you can only afford cool and not cold. Keep yourself hydrated in between your margaritas if you have to, but keep that water going. And I will see everybody again next week. Thanks a lot, everyone.